This is Bucks Tickets NI. We're here at the Europa Hotel for the final press conference from McCrory Carroll. Paddy, we've obviously just had the final press conference here. Are you probably still sort of thinking to yourself, how am I here back in this moment? I know we've done obviously our interview, it feels like a long time ago now, when obviously the fight was first announced, but like, does it still sort of feel real to you that you're sort of your first fight back after your first defeat and you're headlining the SSE?
Yeah, I thought to get to this stage I would have had to be at top of the world, but thankfully I built a great support base, a great community of people that want to come out and see me fight, and it's a pleasure to be here.
It's probably the perfect place to bounce back from the defeat, obviously coming back to the SSE Arena where you'll feel that love again. Not everybody got to Orlando, they obviously see your fight, so in some ways it's sort of, the ring walk's probably going to be even more special for you than probably anyone even the Fela last year.
Yeah, just because I can look back to my debut, like walking out to, the only people there was the people that I sold tickets to now walking out main event in a purpose-built stadium that is the home of sport in Belfast, and I'm main eventing it.
You obviously deserve a lot of credit for the opponent you've taken. Obviously, Pro Box have sort of mentioned there, Paulie, and Chris has sort of mentioned, obviously, you like fights like this where you come back and you obviously come back into a dangerous fight. Probably in some ways, when you sort of maybe look back to some fights you had before, hooking with a hooker and Ciso Neves and the Ulster Hall, you probably learned from maybe you've got lucky probably at some stages where you've landed and obviously done the damage. Do you sort of still have that same mentality? We're just going to go and just try and take her head off?
I needed something to get me motivated to fight, and when I heard that I was main event at the SSE, it was probably enough. But then when I got the opponent with his knockout ratio, with everything that comes along with that, it made for an exciting fight, and it got me hungry. And now we're here. We're 2 days out, way in tomorrow, and it's time to put on a show.
I was going to say, you're always a people person, everything else to God. You probably didn't want to con people into coming back. They a fight that's going to be easy. You want a fight that's going to test you. Obviously, camps get harder and harder sometimes, so you want to have that camp worthwhile rather than somebody who's going to hit with one punch and they're going to fall over.
Yeah, after months away, it needed to be something that was going to get me out of bed to make me get to the gym and train hard, and that's exactly what I've done. So, come Friday night, I hope the fans get their money's worth, and it's an exciting fight, but exciting on my behalf because I want to go in and do a job.
What do you know obviously of your opponent, obviously other than the fact that obviously he's got a lot of knockouts? I guess sometimes people look at the knockouts and go, big puncher, like it could be one of them fights where you land the first punch and he just can't cope with it. What do you know of obviously Carroll?
Yeah, listen, he's boxed at decent levels on amateurs as well, so he has a bit of box ability. I think he was one fight away from qualifying for the Olympics. And the fight that he didn't win was against the eventual silver medalist or something along the line. So he was a decent amateur. He can box a bit, he can be tricky, he can be flashy, he can try and frustrate you, he can play tricks. And if I let him get in his groove, he can make it hard for me. And with his punch power, it can be even harder. So I got to be on my game.
Do you think it, whenever you made your pro debut, and obviously looking at Ryan Burnett and sort of looking up, like you're sort of now looking down at the rest and giving everybody else these opportunities? Mick Conlan obviously was helping you build your career there as well. Like, does it feel obviously a special moment for you, the fact that you're helping they bring the next wave of Irish boxers through? Yeah,
listen, to sit there at the top table, front and centre, is strange because my first press conference, I didn't even know I was going to be on the table. I was at the bottom, I was on the outside, and I walked in and seen my name. So now to be front and centre and giving people the opportunity to build their careers the way Mick and Burnett give me, it's been a great journey.
And like, do you look at obviously a win on Friday night? Obviously, it puts you back to sort of where you were previously. Like you're not sort of taking the easy route back. Like, this gets you back to where you were obviously with the Belanga fight previously. Is that where you sort of look at it and go, I want to have even bigger fights straight away 2025?
Yeah, listen, I want to get straight back in the mix after this fight. There's been conversations of different opportunities, different routes to take. There's shows going to be in Belfast in the first quarter of next year that I could be part of. But when I get back in the colm, there's going to be people that need opponents and big names, and if they're looking for somebody, I'll be waiting and ready to go.
And is it still going to be primarily a super middleweight, or obviously is it gone back to, like, we're just past 2 years he won in the IBO in Germany? Like, is it sort of, you can switch between both weights for the opportunities now?
Listen, people are saying this fight's a light heavyweight, but let me tell you, or I'll tell you now, I'm not weighing in light heavyweight. I have to weigh in 4 pounds over the super middleweight division. So it's really a super middleweight fight. It's within the limits of being classed as a super middleweight fight. So I don't know why it's down as a light heavyweight fight, but I'm big enough to fight at them weights. I can fight at heavyweight if I need to. But ideally, I want to get a fight at super middleweight.
Listen, thanks very much for your time. Obviously, all the very best of luck for Friday night, and hopefully we'll catch up with you when you're back to one and ways afterwards.
Thank you very much.